Okay, next we're gonna have to load the resources. Basically, we're gonna have to load all the images, and we do that with the following line: uh, bitmap texture atlas texture region factory that set asset base path to gfx slash, and we're gonna have to import this. And it basically says every image we're gonna have is gonna be in this gfx folder. This doesn't exist yet, so I'm gonna have to create it. So you right click on assets and you click new, and you say folder, and then you create gfx. And then when you go into the workspace in Eclipse, and under this project, my example, under assets, there's gonna be a folder that we just created, gfx. Now, there's nothing in it, so let's put in the graphics that we're gonna be using, and I'm gonna copy in the images right now. And these are the 4 images. It's gonna be the arrow, the background, and these 2 animated sprites, one black, one red. So from here on out, we just gonna need to refer to these with their names. We don't have to give any path to them because we specified it here. Okay, the next thing is that we're gonna have to declare a couple variables. And in AndEngine there's 2 things. One is called the texture atlas, and the other one is called the texture region. And the texture atlas is basically you declare an area that you want to use in the memory, and that can only be size where the dimensions is the power of 2, so it can only be like let's say like 64 by 64 or 64 by 128. It can't be anything else. Now your images are not necessarily going to be the size, so you're going to have to find appropriate size, one bigger than that it'll fit. So for example, I open up Paint just to demonstrate it, and let's say my background has the dimensions of 800 by 480. So if I drag this in here, this is the actual image in the memory. Is going to have to look 1024 by 512. This white area is the area that we're going to reserve in the memory, and this is our image. So that's because OpenGL can only handle these kind of memory sizes. So that's what we're going to do. And also later on we're going to load these 2 images into the same texture atlas, which is basically the reserved memory area, and these have a size of 128 by 256. So we're just gonna basically create a one one texture atlas, and it's gonna have the size of 256 by 256, and that's gonna hold this one as well right next to it. You can put more than 1 images into a texture atlas. Okay, so let's declare our texture atlas for the background, and I'm gonna do it up here in fields, and I'm gonna have to import these, and I just basically named my background texture atlas. That's the memory area, and my background texture region, that's basically the image that it's gonna be. Okay, so let's load this. and you type this dot my background texture atlas equals new bitmap texture atlas, and that's the size that I show you, 1024 by 512. You're gonna have to import this, and this is basically has to do with the image quality. So we reserve that wide area in the memory. Okay, now we're gonna have to load the actual image into that area, and you do that by doing this line, my background texture region. That's the second variable, and you're gonna have to type equals bitmap texture atlas texture region factory. You have to type this whole thing in, dot create from asset, and you're gonna have to give it let's see, you're gonna have to give it the texture atlas, which is this thing. So this is the same as this, and you're gonna have to, there's a second argument that's a context, so you're just gonna type this, and this background.png is this file, and the 00 is basically where do you want this file to start within this wide area. So you want, in our background image, you want to start it here at 00. In this in the second picture, second example, the first when we're gonna first load these, the red ones, or actually it's gonna be the black ones. In that case, this is gonna be 00, and when you load the second one, this is gonna be 1280, because we're gonna load it here. You can reserve a bigger area, and you can load in a whole bunch of images, or you can do it one at a time. Either way. Okay.